It was a fluke. I was working at St. Luke's, and the conference was in DC. That was in 1986. And one of the coworkers had this brochure, and he hands it to me and says, "Would this help with your psychoed group?" And I went, and I thought, these people are very strange, but this is really powerful. And maybe a month later, David Swing started a training group that was walking distance from my apartment. And I signed up for 3 months, and I was hooked. I was just hooked. So it has opened up so much for me. I feel like I've evolved into a person I would have never gotten to otherwise, I have to say.
Could you say more about that?
Well, because the training, you're doing your own work. You can't just learn it from a book. You can't learn it from a lecture. You're getting engaged and you're doing it. And so, whether you're a protagonist or director or auxiliary or group member, you're working your own issues out as you're training. And so, and you're making those connections. You've got that telic. So what happens in the training groups, you become very close very fast. I think when that kind of intimacy happens, learning happens that much faster and that much deeper. So the learning experience was incredible. And it's playful and it's creative, and I love it. I mean, friends go, everything is not psychodrama. I'm like, yes, it is, on one level or another. So.
And how long have you been with the ASGPP?
I joined in '86, first conference, and then I just stayed with it. And when they had the offer way back, I became a life member.
So you're a life member?
I'm a life member. I'm here till they put me under the ground, you know?
What do you think has gone well for you in your...
I love what I do. I mean, I work at St. Luke's residential program for clergy, and it's so powerful because it's got the spiritual component, which really, I think, supports our residents where they are. And it really opens up and it pushes people in a gentle way. It opens doors, and I've just seen amazing things happen. And I work, the whole program is a team, but I really feel that the creative arts therapies are respected. And I feel like my work is respected. And
is there
so
an example of someone, whether it's there or, you know, like, of how psychodrama has impacted a person?
I wouldn't want to talk about other people, just confidentiality. But I will say, I remember one drama, I was dealing with a friend who was terminal and trying to be very supportive. And we were doing a drama, and I had someone holding like a cord around my throat, and I was holding it like this, trying to be supportive, and they had me step out and look at it. And I thought, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to support and not giving myself time to be angry at this disease. It was cancer, to be sad, to be frightened. And it was, you could have told me that, but seeing it and then stepping back in, I realized I couldn't support a friend if I wasn't supporting myself. And it's like, I knew it theoretically, but doing it in action made it like just there, you know? And so that was really powerful. And I was still supportive, but I was shifting in making sure I was resourced before I went out to support. So, I mean, that would be, and that's my story, so I can talk about that one, you know?
What are you working on now in your life?
I think really just, I want to be better at what I am. So, again, I'll say at work, there's other things we're doing, and they've said, do people want training in this? And I thought, at this stage in life, I don't want to add new things. I want to get better at what I do. I mean, that's why I'm at the conference. One, to have fun, but two, was at a really good workshop on the whole neuropsychology stuff, and looking at how that fits in and stuff I learned once, seeing where information is catching up to it, you know, where it's like, and seeing new techniques, seeing people who use different tools than me, seeing people who just have a different style. And it pushes me to not change my own, but maybe question or fine tune my own. Plus,
So
I
the
just get
conferences give you a lot.
and just getting like supported. I don't know a group this supportive. You know, when my dad passed, the whole family's in Oklahoma except me, and my mom was, "I'm concerned for you up east." And I said, the support at work was incredible. And I said, "You have no idea the support in the psychodrama community." I said, "You don't have to worry about me. I am so far from alone, you know?" I mean, cards and phone calls and emails and people just being present. So it's years ago, many years ago, there was an earthquake in California, and I remember writing to like 5 or 6 of the members and just like a note, "How are you doing?" And I saw one of them at a conference the next year, and the woman said, "I belong to 6 professional organizations, and the only one I heard from was ASGPP." And she said, "I must have gotten like 24 notes, letters, phone calls," this is before texting, "checking up on me." She said, "I'm in 6 organizations. That's the only one where people responded to this disaster." And I think that speaks to who we are. You know, that speaks to, we're not just a professional organization. We're more, you know? We're more.
So what would you say a young professional starting out, beginning to, learn about psychodrama, about coming to the conferences?
Well, first, I would like our energy to go there. Colleagues at work may come to like the local chapter, come to one session and see. But for instance, I wouldn't change how I do therapy significantly now. I found my niche. I think people, when they're in school and figure out what's the direction I want to take, I'd love for them to at least try it. I mean, I would love to say to like any student, just come to one conference and try it. Because I think I went early enough in my career that I really hadn't figured out exactly what direction I would take. And it fit, it connected, and here I am. I mean, I've been the chapter president for longer than dirt. I was on the board for a term. I was NACADA representative. I was the Virginia Coalition of Creative Arts Therapies psychodrama rep for about 5 years. It got me when I was still trying to figure out myself and my direction. So I love it when we do the rush and the students can come in cheap, on the day of and go to any open workshops. It's like, get a taste of it and see. And if it's not for you, you lost a weekend. But it might be like me where you just think, wow, this is so amazing. This is just, I can't imagine not being a psychodramatist. If work was like, we're cutting psychodrama, I would be like, I need to go elsewhere, I can't imagine not doing what I do.
If you had any specific hopes or dreams for the psychodramatic community of ASGPP, what would they be?
It really would be connect with the young people. I would love to see us using our sociometry, using connection to visit classrooms and do a session. Or on campus, if they have like the psych club, inviting ourselves into just saying, we'd love to come and just do an evening and do an introduction with you. I'd like to see us move into other areas. I did a workshop at the Mentor Coach Conference, I think it was in 2014, and it was something I was really familiar with, and they were amazed. And I thought, this is not, I wouldn't have needed that much training. It was like a role reverse with your strengths. So you're not just talking about them, you're really concretizing them. And people were blown away. And I thought, this is not that complicated, but you haven't been introduced to it. And so I really would like people to know who we are. I'd like us to let that be known. And then let people decide. I mean, I don't want people to come in who wouldn't feel like it fits, but try us out, like I said, try us out for a weekend and see what you think.
What would your legacy be? You know,
Oh,
to
I'm sorry?
Psychodrama, to the ASGPP, what would you want your legacy? Whatever that means to you.
Actually, I saw that question on the sheet and I wasn't sure my answer, so you'll get a spontaneous answer. I think more than anything, just that I helped to build the community. It's like working on the chapter, when I'm doing presentations here, just connecting with people. I would want folks to say, he helped make this a community.
So, if you were to reverse roles with, J.L. Moreno or Zerka, what would you say or recommend to the ASGPP?
I'd have to do Zerka because I never met JL, so it'd be easier. And first, one thing I want to say about Zerka, she knew the members, she knew the sociometry. I was like my second, third year, and I saw her one night, and this is like Mrs. God. It was at the dance, I stepped out and she was sitting there, and I said, "Good evening, Zerka." And she said, "Are you enjoying the conference, Steve?" And I thought, she knows me. And it was like my third conference, and this is like, the grand queen of psychodrama. And it's like she knew me, and it was that connection. It's like, wow, I've got to fit in, So I think she would say, see one another, know one another. And she also did say, get into the schools, get in and connect with young people. So she was always about connect. Be your true self, see the true self in the other person. And I think that's her legacy, her best legacy.
And anything else you'd like to say about psychodrama or the ASGPP? Or would want people to know?
I think we're just a fun group. I talk about our conferences, and staff go, "We don't do those things," my coworkers.
What makes us a fun group?
I remember the San Francisco conference when the first morning, it's like, we need more energy, and they're like, let's get it, yeah. And it's like, not enough, and they opened the doors and a Chinese dragon came in and was dancing up and down the halls. And I thought, how many conferences do this? The dance is a trip. I mean, the party is always, people have fun. It's funny, I don't think I've ever seen anyone, probably don't want this on the thing, but I'll say it, and you can edit it out. It's like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone drunk at the conference, because we don't have to, because we can be spontaneous, we can have fun, we don't need other stuff to have a good time. And I've been to other conferences, and I'm not saying everyone, but there's always a few people who are like buzzed. And it's like, we don't need that. Because we can let go, we can be ourselves, we can have a good time, we can have fun. I have never met a less judgmental group of people. When I put out difficult stuff in my dramas, I just get a thank you for honoring us with your truth. When I've had a flub in workshops, and I get a welcome to humanity. It's like, and we're here, look, we'll help you pick up the pieces back up and keep going. And that's impressive. It's not that competitive, my workshop better than yours. It's how can we make each moment as good as it can be, as rich as it can be. And again, I think that's incredible. I think that is so needed right now, where people are splitting, and culturally and politically we're in the us-them mentality, and all the talk about building walls, and it's like, we're here this weekend, we're taking the walls down. And that's impressive. That's amazing, you know?
Very
Good, thank you.